that they're doing in Schoology, but be able to see the syllabus that they're gonna do it once per semester, and then click on the Zoom link and everything. I'm telling them, like, you have to drop on Zoom just to see that you are present. You don't have to stay all 55 minutes with me if you don't have questions. And then just verifying that they know their Ingenuity login and everything. And I'm telling them that they have to keep working in Ingenuity. And every day they just have to Zoom with me just to tell me I'm here, I'm working. That's all.
Don't they have to have an access code to get into Schoology in your classes?
It's automatically set into the through Aspen. I don't know how they set it from Aspen through Schoology, but everybody just go fine to Schoology. And I asked Jessica Mead, she said that they don't need access code or anything. Everything is already set for them.
Yeah, I wanted to say, for the good of the group, I did have a student reach out to me from Schoology, and I haven't been at PLC long, but that's the first time I've communicated with any PLC student through Schoology, and he said that's how he got in touch with me, to say he couldn't find the class.
Okay.
So going forward, I'll at least use Schoology like Ms. Petrova is. I'll at least put my Zoom link there so that they'll be, you want them to have many different ways to figure out what to do. Just post what you're doing in different places so they know how to get to you.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I put my stuff on Schoology as well. My syllabus is there, as well as my Zoom link is there. So we just keep getting feedback. Ms. Knockings, what do you think? Are you?
Well, I kind of feel like, for us it may be easy, but then for the students, especially those students who are mainly at PLC, it may be like a little bit complicated, because in Ingenuity they're already doing a lot of work with so many Ingenuity classes, and then they have to be going over, looking at different links, joining different links to go to different teachers. So I'm trying to kind of like really narrow it down to really stay with Ingenuity as much as possible, whereby I just have a Zoom link, which I can actually put in Ingenuity. That way the kids can, if we are to meet, they can just log in there on Zoom, and then then we can connect there. Because even though we do the Zoom, their platform is mainly Ingenuity. Because for me, I'm seeing Zoom as a place for for physical attendance, to see that they are there, and also for social emotional learning and connecting, and maybe to give them academic support. But otherwise, everything goes back to Ingenuity, because that's where they are doing all the academic work.
Of course, nobody else asking them to do anything else. Like, we just working in Ingenuity. We just putting in Schoology the link to the Zoom, so they can drop up and say, hey, I'm fine, I'm working. So we're not really doing something else. So we still keep learning in Ingenuity.
Is anybody else using passwords, and what's the feedback on how the students responded to putting the passwords in right, stuff like that?
Password for what?
Well, today
for your Zoom meetings.
If you set up an individual Zoom meetings, they got to have passcodes and a meeting ID.
See, I'm not doing individual. My Zoom thing is through my personal Zoom room. So I share this link, and I always open the same thing, like my personal meeting room, and everybody drops in, nobody asking for any passwords and anything. So I don't see like a problem with it.
That's the way I had mine set up as well. But it seems like I wasn't getting the kids any feedback from the kids. But then I recreated a different one and sent the password and the codes and all that. And I had like 10 to 12 kids, Zoom me today. So I don't know what that's all about. Miss Bryan, so you're okay with everything?
No.
I mean, as far as Zoom or Schoology right now, because we trying to establish something, I guess something uniform, or close to being uniform, so we all be on one accord, and so they leave your room, they won't be confused when they come to my room.
I agree.
Miss Kinlaw, what do you think?
Okay, so Brown, how do you log in? Do you go to the icon on your desktop, or do you go to Zoom US?
Oh, anytime I go, I always have a link that's in an email or in an invitation. I just
for your personal room.
I'm going through zoom.us.
I have the app. I have like a Zoom app installed on my computer.
And I think I have that on my computer too, because when I click it, my personal ID comes up, whatever. So I'm going to try that tonight.
Okay.
Okay. Ms. Kenlock, what do you think?
Well, you know, whatever you guys decide, I just want to be able to, if I get the phone call or the email, just to be able to say there's a Zoom room or they're working through Schoology, because I know I was just popping the emails out today, and a few times students would say, well, they didn't have the link or password or something like that to get in. But quite a few of the students are familiar with Schoology. I do know that. I understand some may have been here a couple years, but they know that Schoology though. I mean, it's a word and they know how to go in and use that. So, you know, whatever you guys decide, I just want to know so I can just make sure when I'm communicating, I'm letting, you know, I just have the information. Because as you see, I was just popping out emails left and right today. So, and I do have a few other questions, Mr. Mack, but I'll wait until closer to the end because it's not, you know, relevant right now to what's going on, but it's just some information I need for myself to be able to work with the students.
Okay.
Okay, question about something else. The TRSS, do we fill out that form for each student?
You should be doing it on each student, yes.
In each class period or just an advisement or first period?
I think it's whenever you see the student. Do you guys see them in advisement? I don't know. Are you seeing them?
I don't know what time is the advisement.
But it's when they come into your class, that's when you should be doing it. Like if it's first block, you're looking at them first block. Yeah, it's this when they come into your block.
I actually looked at that, and we have to do that each block because the kids are in so many different classes, and looking at their transcripts, we can't just do it with advisement because some of the kids in my advisement don't have me for a class. But when I looked at my classes, there were kids in my that had classes that they had already done on their transcript. As I'm going through the transcript, I'm identifying problems and correcting them. So so we are going to have to do that every block.
Okay.
So let me go back. The consensus now is that we're going to be using Zoom and Schoology as our two options, right? Two options.
Yes.
So Dr. Phillips, if you would you send all of us the information that you have for how to access the information in Schoology? That way we have two different resources. If one fails, we got something else we can fall back on, but we'll communicate both those resources to the students. And then the TRSS, we are all on one accord. We have to do that every block. Okay. My next question is about advisement and sharing information. Since all of us have an advisement class, and each one of us has about 15 students in an advisement class, do you guys think it would be wise for us to contact the kids in our advisement classes to let them know the purpose of Zoom, what they're supposed to be logging in every block, the first portion of the class, if possible, to do attendance, and then making sure all the kids know that your platform that you're using is Edgenuity for your classes. And the reason, and that can kind of help us out as well if we contact our advisement students, because we need their phone numbers, we need their email addresses in order to make sure that their class and schedules are correct. So my suggestion would be that we communicate with each student in our advisement, and that will cover the entire school, and we'll get the accurate phone numbers, accurate email addresses, and then we'll know exactly how to manipulate their schedules. What do you guys think?
But what time is the advisement exactly? Like we know the first block is.
It doesn't matter what time, it's just to contact those students in our advisement to get the information. That's all, right?
I don't think that there is a block where they come to us for advisement. I think
there's not.
Like we can just contact them during our virtual hours.
Yeah, that was one of my questions on here, but like you said, maybe during that virtual hours would be, and I think isn't that 7:30 to 8:30 or something?
And then from 2 to 4:30.
And 2 to 4:30. And I think that's a good idea, Mr. Mack, because those schedules, a lot of those schedules I started building like the end of June, and what's happening now, some summer school grades have popped up on transcripts that weren't on transcripts when I was building schedules, and things are being brought to my attention. And so some things, you've gotten emails where drop this out of Edgenuity because now grades there. So those kinds of things. I think that would be great.
So are we all on one accord that we are going to communicate with the students that were assigned to us for advisement?
How we
Yes.
gonna communicate if we don't have like contact information? We have to rely on the Aspen only?
Yeah, just do the best you can. I've actually heard back from 13 parents. I've sent an email to all the parents and all the students, and I know 80% of them are going out into the ether, but I've heard back from 13 folks. So that said, it got to somebody.
Yeah, and I got a lot of calls today and emails and texts today from parents as well. But again, I sent out mass emails to all the students and all the parents in Aspen, as well as all the kids and through Edgenuity. So I did get them. I got a lot of feedback from them today. And we need to have accurate and updated information to contact these kids, because like some of them, some of those kids we know are not going to log in. For example, I had a kid that called me today. He works and he said, Mr. Mack, I can't Zoom because I'm at work. I said, well, if you can't Zoom, at least text me so I know that you are trying to get your work done. You're trying to, stay in communication with somebody. So we'll know not to drop you from the roster and I can mark you present. Because I had a lot of kids, some of the kids that reached out to me today, again, they weren't my students, but because they reached out to me, I did tell them that I would let you guys know who they were so that we can mark them present. Because I think that'll kind of help too with intent. Right now, I just feel like any one of us that they communicate with is good, and we can kind of direct them in the right direction. But we can't really do that unless we have an established protocol in place.
Mr. Mack, could I ask one? How many email addresses do students have? Some students are emailing me via the Marietta Schools net, and then I think there's a different email in Edgenuity. Am I correct? And
That is correct.
Yes.
And then there's just another one that they have. So
yes, ma'am. And I think that's why it's important that if we contact our advisement kids, we can get the email that you want us to communicate with you and just leave it at that. We can get a good email and a good phone number. Because I had that too. I had one kid, the mom emailed me, the kid emailed me, the mom called me from a different number, and the kid called me as well. And I'm like, okay, we need one number and one email so we can communicate with you guys.
And if you get that information, do we put it in a journal? Is that where you guys want it? Because I know I talked to several students today and I just said, well, give me your cell phone number. And I have those written down, but I haven't put them anywhere because I just know at the high school, we would always just put things in the Aspen journal, like a notation. So how do you want me, where do you want that info? I mean, I can write an email, but that'd be a bit much. So
that's
what's
a good
the designated
question, guys.
area?
So let's all make a decision. Where do we want to put the most accurate information for the student? That's a good question.
Well, Mr. Mack, this is what I'm thinking. I think what I saw today is like the information for the students is there, but but the student didn't know where to find their information. Is there where we can get a centralized location where all the kids can go get their information? And then another thing, that way we can, stop the confusion of going to Miskin-Law, going to Schoology, going to looking for Zoom meetings and things like that. Because our main platform is Ingenuity, and there's a lot of work in Ingenuity for those kids to do. Not only in one class, but also in all our classes. That's a lot of work they have in there on them. So I was thinking maybe we can get a centralized location for them where they can go and get all that information. And also on our side, we need to use a communication platform, which can allow us to document our communication with the students and also trackable. Because right now we may be doing a lot of communication with a lot of kids, but then we also want to make sure that it's being documented. We can go back and follow up with that.
Isn't that the purpose of the Aspen Journal, where you put that information? And the purpose, I think, of the journal is because if anybody in the district goes into a kid, they can see, well, Ms. Naki Engi reached out to this parent. I mean, it's very short what you put in there. But if someone is looking for a kid from CO, truancy, anything, they can see documentation that things have been done. So that's the district's piece.
Okay, so
I agree that the journal is good because anyway, looking for like But you're gonna go to Aspen to see the parent contact and everything, and it's easy on the same place just to look through the journal and see if somebody put like, okay, the real email, the real phone number is and so and so on.
Okay, so we're agreeing that we're going to put the most accurate information for our students in Aspen, and we're going to make Aspen our centralized location for communicating with the students. Are we all on one accord with that?
It's actually the communication between us, because the student can go and they cannot see what is there, right? But for us, for our usage, like it's a good place that you always can go and look, okay, for this student, did somebody reach out? Did somebody put like a real phone number, a real email that we can use? So the only thing that I'm thinking, maybe, I'm not quite sure still, but if we put like announcement in Ingenuity, the links to our Zoom rooms, but the thing is like, okay, there are students that I don't have, and the announcement will be seen from everybody. So I don't want everybody to click on my Zoom link and I have to figure out who is this student, who is not. That's the only kind of reservation that I have.
I mean, just if that happens, just look at your roll. And if it's not, that student isn't on your roll, just don't let them in.
I know, but it's extra thing. That's my thing. Like if they are in Schoology, they are in my class. So that's why they are able to click on this link. In Ingenuity, everybody can see it and everybody can click. That's the only reason that I didn't put my Zoom link in Ingenuity announcements.
It's one of the reasons I like Schoology. You just have so much more control with the classroom. And we have to remember, a lot of districts in the country dropped Zoom, even though it was free, because there's no security with it whatsoever if you're not paying for it. And right now the district is not. My understanding is the district is considering it. But I also know that at least on the main campus, they're pushing Schoology because we're already paying for it.
Well, the password is the only security, and that's usually plenty security. That's why I'm at least playing around with it now. All it'll take is for the wrong kid to show up in the wrong Zoom and do the wrong thing, and we'll all be required to do passwords from here on out. So I'm just trying to do it up front, knowing that that creates the issue of the students not putting the passwords in right. So we try to figure all of that out during the first week as quick as we can. Since we know down the road we're going to all have to use some type of password for all of this stuff, or we'll have chaos.
So Miss Kinlaw, what we're going to try to do is get as much accurate information as we can from our kids in advisement. Once we get that information, I don't know, should we give it to you as a counselor and have you put it in, or do we just put it in as we get it from the kids? Like once
just put it in as you get it from the kid.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else have any concerning issues or anything that we need to address? Everybody. So here's my takeaway is, okay, we're gonna use definitely we're using Edgenuity. Dr. Phillips is gonna kind of give us information on the Schoology conferences. The rest of us are going to be using Zoom in the meantime until we kind of get a handle on the Schoology conferences. We're doing the TRSSs each class period with all of our students. Everyone is contacting your kids from advisement and getting as much accurate information as we can. And we're using Aspen as our platform for communication, for accurate information on students and for disseminating information. Anybody else has anything that you would like to? Yes, Miss Kinlaw.
I would just, when you're talking to your students, if you did find out that a student has moved, or just maybe send me an email or Miss Sanchez, because we need to do some additional things in regards to that. We just can't add a new address without some other things being done. And I know I sent out a communication, I think it was Saturday, to parents, but I sent it through Aspen. And I think this is a conversation maybe for me to have with Ms. Petrova. I don't know how to send like that same email to all the students in Edgenuity. I understand, I heard Mr. Mack say, well, I sent out one to all of my, but I don't know how to do that piece. So that might just require me having a conversation with Ms. Petrova.
I didn't think you could mass email on Edgenuity.
Oh no, I did it.
Post an announcement.
Or you
Just
can
do
that
announcements.
everybody will see, yeah.
Yeah, and I did an announcement also. I put that out, but where it says compose a new email, then it asked me for, and then I didn't know if I had to write each email separate. But
Yeah.
like, you know, in Aspen, when I sent that email, I just checked all the students from PLC and it went out that way. So I didn't know if that was a feature in Edgenuity or not.
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
Nope.
Well, maybe there's one issue I just want to see what you think about, because for the students at the high school, when they come to Schoology and they are meeting face-to-face on video with the teacher, they are actually in the classroom, they are doing their work. But for us, the students will come, that is going to be like taking attendance physically, but virtually, they still need to go back to Ingenuity and do their work. So how are we gonna handle, how are we going to monitor their participation in Ingenuity? Because they can come to us face to face physically and we say, oh, you are present. But then when they go in their online class, then what if they decide not to do anything, or if they are not progressing?
I hope you guys are staying healthy and well.
Okay, I got you.
So
So you're saying like, what protocol are we going to utilize to monitor student progress in Edgenuity?
It's like before, like you're always looking where they are in the class, what is their percentage progress and everything, like we did it like even when they're in class, like you're still observing this. So the same way, and if you see that they're not working, if they pop up in Zoom just to check in, say, okay, it's not working this way, you have to work in Edgenuity, or just send them email to Edgenuity or whatever. But we already did this, we always was looking at the progress, like, and it's not something that is new.
Have all the students been given their Edgenuity logins?
I mean, the
No.
ones that contacted me, yes, like, I don't know.
But we have new students that don't have a clue.
No, because I actually had a parent to ask me that information, and I went on to Edgenuity and looked up the child's user ID and all of that stuff to give to the parents. So no, all the kids do not have their usernames and passwords for Edgenuity, not the new ones. So that's why I say it's important.
I'm sorry, the ones that have reached out to me, I just went in and gave it to them, but is there a way it's supposed to go out? I don't think it's a mass way to deliver that, is there?
No, that would have to be done individually.
Yeah,
And
and
that's
I mean
the-
the ones that have reached out, so.
They have to reach to
That's why I
somebody.
say it's important for us to talk to our advisement kids, because if we talk to those kids in the advisement, we can find out from them if they have their usernames and passwords and all that type of stuff.
I agree.
Everybody that reached to me today, I asked them, can you log into Edgenuity? Try to log in until you are with me. And like for some of them, I changed the password so they can go and
Get
But I think some of those students who contacted me, actually, they went through me, Mrs. Kinlaw. They didn't know where to go. They couldn't find their Ingenuity. They didn't have their password or usernames.
Are
So,
these new students?
yeah, some of those, yeah.
Okay, well, if you contact the new students on your, when you log on to Edgenuity under the students, the managed students, you see all of their usernames. So if you just if you give them the username, you can take it from there on your advisement.
All right.
All the new students, all the old students should know what to do.
Okay, so last question or last comment. So we're all going to establish one Zoom link per block. Is that the takeaway or no? Are we all going to establish one?
For all blocks.
Okay.
Standard Zoom link for everything.
For all blocks.
All right, so we're establishing one Zoom link for all blocks that the kids are going to be going to. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Does anyone? Yes, ma'am, Miss Dr. Phillips.
Before we go, I just want to share my screen for just a second to show everybody where the information is for the Schoology conferences.
Okay.
If that works.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Hey,
Let me do it.
Yeah, hang on, Dr. Phillips. I'll let you.
Okay. Oh, my host. I was like, what? Won't let me do it.
I think you're straight now.
Like I blocked my students. Okay. Let me see. I just had it up. Okay, as you can tell, like this is not my my forte. Here we go. In Schoology 102, which is actually in the Schoology, whatever we were supposed to complete, all faculty was supposed to complete by Monday. There is information rather to tell you exactly how to set up your conferences. The task cards are very helpful. That's these here. Tells you how to secure your meeting, and then here are the tutorial videos. So however it is that you learn how to do this, whether you like to have task cards on paper, you're old school like me, if you need one sheet PDF, it's there. Or if you need to have the audio visual, all of the information is here. If you click on courses, it's in everybody's course groupings. If you haven't already looked at it, sorry, I've already moved my stuff. So hold on. Let me go over here. I've already moved my information. In my course listings, mine's going to be at the very bottom somewhere. Why have I got a 12th advisement? Okay, you can search for it. I'm trying to hurry, that's the problem. Here we go, Schoology 102 driving instruction. Everybody has this. Everybody has access to this.
Okay.
This right here, Schoology 102 driving instruction.
Okay, but they still talking about setting Zoom. I don't see other way in Schoology to talk to kids, but Zoom.
Okay, say that one more time.
I mean, it's still like in this tutorial, it's about setting Zoom meeting, how to secure the Zoom meeting. It's Zoom meeting, it's not Schoology.
Oh, it's supposed to be Schoology.
No, it is Zoom meetings all across.
I believe you. I believe you. I will go back in and find what you need then and send it on to you.
Thank you.
I will do that. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Anyone else has anything for the greater good of the group?
Nope.
If not, then thank you guys.
Mr. Mack, I would just like to say to the group, I have thoroughly enjoyed being here at PLC, even though today is my very first day with teachers as well. And I'm loving it. And
You're welcome, Ms. Kinlaw.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you.
Welcome. Yes, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's so much better. So much better.
I feel so much better too, I'm telling you, because I was like, today was just like, oh my goodness.
Well,
You see me yesterday, like around 10 o'clock, I was steaming.
Yeah, I'm telling you, today was rough.
how did the attendance do today? Are we seeing 20% of our kids yet?
I saw 3.
Okay.
I saw about 7 kids, that's it.
All right. It'll get better. It'll get better every day.
Well, I was fine because my buddy Brian was here today.
All right.
I think it'll get better once we start communicating.
It will.
It'll get better.
The few I did talk to today were very friendly and they seemed very enthusiastic. So hopefully that's a sign.
Yep, I even have 2 kids from MAPS moving and they were very friendly. I'm surprised.
So it'll be good. Well, thank you guys so much. And we'll have to stay in contact with each other to make sure we are successful and we'll get this thing done.
Thank you.
We got this.
Faculty meeting.
Later, people.
Oh, yeah. We'll see you tomorrow at the faculty meeting.
Yeah, faculty meeting tomorrow.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye, y'all.
Bye. Thank you, Dr. Phil.